Being a business owner is hard, but changing the world is even harder. Today we're going to talk about some simple, actionable ways to incorporate social impact into your business. Let's go. What up, y'all? I'm Liz Murray, and I am a brand strategist and creative director, and my mission is to empower women and BIPOC-led brands to overcome the chaos in their brand, get more confident, level up, so they can make more money and shatter glass ceilings and build generational wealth. So I myself am a mission-driven, value-driven brand. I'm not an expert at this. I'm still learning, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I do have this core belief that capitalism, that businesses can be successful while also doing good things in the world. I think those two things can coexist. Something I'm really passionate about, and I'm constantly trying to learn and improve and get better, so I'm gonna take you along that journey with me. Lately, I've had several clients ask me about ways that they can implement some of these things into their business and actually take a stand or actually move the needle for a cause that they care about. And so I thought, might as well share it all with you, because other people are definitely out there wondering. So the first way to make a social impact with your business is to speak up. Long gone are the days when brands or businesses did not have a place in the social, cultural, or political sphere. That shit is over. Consumers expect brands to have strong values and to take a stand on major issues. In fact, it really strengthens those bonds. People love brands even more when they align with their values. And I believe that as a business owner, someone who's marketing, someone who's putting products or services into the world, you're a culture shaper. You're contributing to our culture, and so you have a responsibility and an opportunity to actually do something good with that. So it starts with speaking up, being really vocal about shit that's fucked up, about being really vocal about what you're passionate about, whatever the cause or issue may be. Talk about it. Don't be afraid. I know it is very scary. At first, you're afraid you're going to be polarizing or you're going to lose some people. And that might be true, but maybe those aren't your people in the first place. I don't think there is any excuse nowadays for brands to stay silent. And we saw that last summer with everything going on around George Floyd's death and this huge moment for the civil rights movement, that brands were being straight up called out. People were done with it. They were being held accountable for their values or for putting out fake statements and not putting any actions behind it. So the bare minimum that you can do on any issue that you're passionate about is to speak up about it. One of my favorite brands that does this better than anyone I have seen is Ben & Jerry's. They are a very socially progressive brand, and not only are they constantly talking about it, their founders are out there like protesting and they've gotten arrested. They have amazing content on their website that's super educational for everyone, and that is just a pillar of their brand. They are a great example of being as vocal as possible and really living it. The number 2 way is to donate a portion of your sales or your profits. This is one of the simplest ways to make a quick impact. You make money and you can give money back. You can choose a cause that really aligns with your values and just give them a donation. This could be monthly, it could be annually, or you can do it on the low at the end of the year based on whatever profit that you've made. It really depends on your industry and what makes the most sense for your business. The number 3 way, you can donate goods or services. So depending on what your business actually does, you can do that same thing for good. So a common example of this is Tom's. They have a buy one, give one type of program. That's what their brand was built on. So for every pair of shoes someone buys, they donate a pair of shoes to someone in need. And that is a super classic model for these types of social impact brands that you could implement. It doesn't have to be one-to-one if that doesn't quite work for your business. Whatever works for you, but you can donate your own products, your goods, to do good. But this doesn't only apply to product-based brands, this applies to service-based brands as well. You can do pro bono work. I actually started my company with a big service-based grant for a woman-owned and a Black-owned business. It's what led me down this road to defining my brand around this mission. And to this day, I still do several pro bono projects every year with nonprofits, with BIPOC-owned businesses, with women-owned businesses, to try to use my skill set to empower someone else's business. And you can define the terms of that. It could be a certain set of hours, it could be a certain project, whatever works for you. There are thousands, if not millions, of companies or people out there who who are looking for pro bono services, no matter what type of service you offer. So there will be no shortage of people you could help. Number 4, source ethically. Now this is a broad category that has a lot that goes into it, but whether you are creating a product and sourcing goods and materials for that product, or whether you are a service provider that's working with other vendors or using technology platforms, whatever you're using to get your business going, think about who you're spending your money with and choose sustainable, ethical companies that align with your values. Sometimes this is hard to do in practice, and there are a lot of brands that are really great at it. It may take baby steps for you in your business to make sure that all of the people that you are exchanging with, that you're spending money with, from your accountant to your project management platform to the actual supplier of your goods, everyone along that chain are aligned with your values. And you may not ever get there, but it's a great goal to work towards, and something that I think the average business owner doesn't typically think about. Number 5, hire marginalized people, whether that is Black people, Indigenous people, people of color, Asian Americans. Hire marginalized people and give them an opportunity to fucking kick ass. That applies whether you are talking about women, Black people, Indigenous people, people of color, Asian Americans, trans people, people who don't often have opportunities, the same economic power. Hire them. By all means, hire them and give them a voice in your company. Amplify their voice. Promote them. Bring them up. Pay them well. This is a huge way that you can impact someone on a one-to-one basis. And this doesn't just apply to your employees. This applies to contractors and to vendors. So it is really hard to run a business totally solo. And every person you work with, from your video editor to your virtual assistant to your social media coordinator, or everyone in your food chain of your business, can be someone that you can deliberately spend money with to improve their lives in their community. So for example, there has been a resurgence of enthusiasm to support Black-owned businesses in terms of where you spend your money in your life. You can do the same thing with your business. You can hire Black service providers. That's a fucking awesome way to support the Black community, to put money into someone else's business that's going to support their family and their economic success and help build their business and hopefully their generational wealth down the road. Being mindful of who you're hiring all across the board is a really simple way to make an impact over the long term. Number 6, pay a living wage. Whether you're talking about contractors or vendors or certainly your own employees, one of the simplest ways to make a direct economic impact in someone's life is to pay them well, pay them fairly, and help break cycles of poverty and desperation and exploitation and all of those things that are wrong with capitalism and are wrong with business. As business owners, we have a responsibility and an opportunity to not do that. Treat people fairly, treat people with empathy and humanity, and pay them what they're worth. Which leads me to number 7, say no to manipulative marketing. This is a topic I could talk for so long about, and I'll probably make a video about in the future, but if you're not familiar, most of the marketing and sales tactics that have been traditionally taught, especially in a very masculine, white male dominated world, are extremely aggressive and often really manipulative. They rely on people making urgent decisions, on fake scarcity, on making people feel shamed, or preying on their vulnerable emotions, preying on their fears. All of these things that psychologically actually work, but at what cost? They're pretty terrible. So there has been this counter movement to promote more ethical, compassionate, non-manipulative marketing where you treat people like human beings, and maybe you understand their problems or their fears or their emotions or their vulnerabilities, but you don't use it against them. And this is a practice I want to promote with all of my clients and hopefully with all of you. It's something you may not have even known was a thing, because these ways of speaking and ways of selling are so ingrained in our culture, but it's a cycle that we have the opportunity to break and change that culture so that we're not attacking each other and manipulating each other just to make a profit. We're not exploiting people. And that is part of being responsible and ethical with your business and finding that middle ground between capitalism and humanity that I hope really truly exists out there. So just some final thoughts. If you are trying to make a social impact with your business, just start somewhere. It is so easy to get so overwhelmed with not knowing where to start or not feeling like the steps you're taking are big enough because they're never ever gonna solve the issue that you care so much about, and so you do nothing. It's this analysis paralysis, and that is what we don't want. That is the absolute worst thing that you could do. So start with something, even if it is a very small step, and then just build from there. Continue to listen, learn, and unlearn like I am doing all the time, and you will grow. You will find new opportunities to get better. Some of your methods may change. You may fuck up. I'm sure I will fuck up. We will all just keep growing and getting better because we're all works in progress, but you have to keep progressing in order to create change. And if you take these actions consistently and steadily over time, you will build it into your brand, into your culture, and hopefully into your community, into the people around you, into your customer base. Ideas spread. So the more we talk about these things, the more we make them second nature, the more we can make a cultural shift that will have a ripple effect and actually affect change, I hope. Hopefully this has given you a few ideas. Drop a comment and let me know what you're considering if you do any of these in your business already. And let's just keep this conversation going because I'm so passionate about businesses who do well while doing good. Until next time, stay badass. All right, y'all, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down there. And check me out at LizMarieStrategy or LizMarieStrategy.com.